Hi everybody, thanks for joining us back at Barbecue 419. Today we will be doing a pork butt. One of my favorite things to do, one of the first things I ever learned how to smoke on a smoker. I'll be doing a 7.5 pound pork butt that I got over at Kroger's. We'll be doing it on my Kamado Joe Classic 2. Be using a all-purpose rub that I made myself, and I'll put a description in the video a little bit later. But I'm gonna get it out of the fridge and we'll get to cooking. All right, welcome back everybody. Today we are doing a 7.5 pound Boston butt on the Kamado Joe 18-inch Classic 2 smoker. One of the first things I think a lot of people do on a smoker is the Boston butt. Pretty forgiving, it's but really good if you do it right. So what we're gonna do today, it's about 7.5 pound, as I said, Boston butt from Kroger. And just trimmed it up, trimmed a couple pieces of fat off that I didn't think were sticking out a little bit. But really all we're gonna do today is put yellow mustard binder on it, and then I'm gonna use my all-purpose rub and put that evenly on all sides here, and then get it on the smoker. I think I'm gonna do it about 225, plan on about 9 hours of smoke on it. All right, so we have our butt all seasoned up here. I'll take a second here and take a peek at the rub again. This is a rub that I've worked on over the last couple of years here. And as you can see, one of my favorite tips or tricks that I like to do is once I find a rub that I like and that I think I've perfected, I like to print that out and put it on an old spice container. That way, whenever I need to make it again, I don't have to go searching for a recipe book somewhere. I got it right up there on the bottle. This rub I like. It's both a sweet and it's definitely got some heat to it as well. The cayenne pepper and a good amount of black pepper in there as well. So I've always found this rub to be a nice balance of both the sweet and the heat. Tends to work really well on pork. All right, just got the fire started, and we're gonna be looking for a target temperature today, somewhere between 225, 250. I got royal oak lump charcoal in there, and I do have, just threw on a couple pieces of hickory and actually a piece of pecan as well. One of my favorite woods to smoke, or to use to smoke Boston butts. A little bit of a sweetness, but a little bit more intense wood compared to cherry or apple, in my opinion. But we're gonna let this, the dome here get up to 225, 250, and we will get our pork on. All right, it's about 9:30. As you can probably tell, it has started raining outside. We would not be smoking in Ohio unless it was raining about half the time here. It is running, we're right about 250, 260 on the dome there. I'm gonna pop this open, and it's time to start spraying this down about every hour or so, just with some apple cider vinegar. Let's take a peek. The bark is starting to come around here. Spray this down a little bit. That's about it. We're going to do that every hour, but let's close the lid, keep cooking. All right, it is about 11 o'clock. The rain outside has subsided just a little bit here. I'm going to take a look at the pork butt and see what's going on. We are running right at 250 on the dome. Get this opened up here. The bark is forming nicely. Let's spray this down with a little bit more apple cider vinegar. All right, close the lid. All right, pork butt has now been on for about 6 hours. You can see the sun finally came out. Dome temp, we are running right at 250. And the meat is probing right at 165, 170. So I think we're about in the middle of the stall. So what I'd like to do is take a peek at it, and then we'll likely pull it and wrap it in aluminum foil and put it back on the smoker. That is looking good. That bark is looking really nice. So what I think I'm gonna do is spray it down one more time with apple cider vinegar, get it pulled off, and we will wrap it in the aluminum foil. Okay, as you can see, we just got the pork butt off of the smoker there. Bark is looking really nice. What we're gonna end up doing now is transferring this into some tin foil. I do end up using tin foil instead of butcher paper on pork butts. I'm not as concerned about a crust forming. I want more of that fat and that moisture to stay in. So we're gonna end up moving this over to tin foil. And what I'll end up doing here is I'm gonna sprinkle on just a little bit more rub. I'll also spray it down one more time here with a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Keep some moisture in there. We're gonna get this wrapped up here, keep the probe in, and we will get it back on the smoker. All right, it is about 5:15, 5:20 or so. Dome's running a little bit cooler. I started to shut down the vents a little bit. We are about to pull this off. What I'm going to end up doing is pulling it out of the tin foil, and I like to make a glaze, and once I get it inside, I will describe the glaze that we're going to make here. All right, so I just pulled this off of the smoker. It's temping about 203 or so. I'm going to end up pulling it out of the foil, and I end up making a glaze here, about 1/3 of a cup of honey and about 1/3 of the cup of this Texas-inspired barbecue sauce. More of a spicy, more heat barbecue sauce, and I like mixing that with the sweetness of the honey and putting a glaze over the pork butt here, and then I'll put it back on the smoker for probably 15-20 minutes or so. This is looking okay. Oh, look at that sitting in its own juices there. Oh, that's falling apart. I'm going to try and get this out the best I can without destroying it, and we'll see if we can get a glaze on it. In there. Okay, we're gonna make up our glaze here. Let's see if we can get this brushed on. Get back on the smoker for just a moment.
It's ribs.
This is a pork butt. So there's 1/3 of a cup barbecue sauce. Cup of honey. So we mix this up. It's brushed on here. Yeah, it is definitely done. That bone does not want to be in there right now. Okay, we got the glaze set up. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Look at that. Caramelizing, that honey caramelizing over just a little bit. And the bone's already fallen out here, so that is absolutely ready to pull and eat here. So let's get this out. Close this up. Take off, put our bone pulling gloves on. This out of here. Oh yeah, completely clean. Let's start pulling this apart just a little bit. Look at that. You can definitely tell that it got some good smoke on there. piping hot. Overall, the meat really turned out great, really moist, really good rub, really good smoke flavor, really happy overall. I really appreciate everybody watching. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time at Barbecue 419.